And good morning to everyone, the colleagues and friends listening from all over the world, and also my fellow panelists. Within in a short period of time, opening up such a big discussion would be a difficult challenge for me to answer. So I will be selective and highlight few thoughts and perhaps raise more questions. Whether SDG is relevant and why this question is so important at this moment. I think that we need to unpack a little bit. We are facing an extraordinary scale of development disaster. That's we call COVID crisis. And that is happening within the baseline of climate change impact in many part of the South Asia and also part of the planet. And the nexus between COVID and the climate change impact would have an implication on the pace of SDG implementation. That's for sure. So from that point of view, is a very timely, but unfortunately, we don't have much data, and data are emerging to understand how SDGs are being impacted by this, the twin crisis, COVID and climate. But what I can, from the UNDP and UN side, very clearly say that SDGs remain the solution. So we are at the beginning of decade of action that all countries agreed that SDG must be achieved by 2030. The goal is still there, target is still there, despite the shocks that we are experiencing. The SDG will continue to provide the solution. From that point of view, answer to your question, yes, SDGs are relevant. However, we need to be mindful that many of the countries which are experiencing COVID are also facing limited fiscal space and the contraction of GDP. The poverty is on rise. Inequality has further deepened. So there are the crisis in the human front and also crisis in the planetary front. So how do we make sure that in our narrative that you mentioned, Anupama, that we have a balanced idea that the welfare of planet or ecosystem resilience and human development resilience are interlinked. And that is why we should not lose focus. So if you say which part of SDG should be more or should receive more focus, I think there is a risk that countries can be selective, that I will focus on A, B, C, D SDG, not E, F, G, H. I think that option is not there. The totality of SDG, which is the health of the planet and welfare of the society and economy, I think we need to look at in an integral manner. Three areas where I would suggest that we should focus. One is, you very rightly mentioned, is data. Second is in the context of limited resources, COVID-induced challenges economy that are facing, we need to find financing solution, innovative financing solution. And how do we just not mobilize resource, but also find a solution to finance all the SDGs? And finally, on the localization that remain a core priority, SDG has to be localized across all the levels.